Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. This is a video on making a Hmoob Txaij shirt. And what you want to start with is your front shirt pattern, pin it down, and cut out your fabric. You can see that I folded my fabric over so that I can cut two pieces for the front at the same time. Next, we're going to trace the darts onto the shirt fabric. And what I have on the bottom here is a tracing paper. You can get that at Joann's. And this is a tracing wheel. You can also pick that up at Joann's. And what you want to do is just trace over both lines of the dart, the folding line and the sewing line, and it will copy over the lines onto your fabric. After that, you want to go ahead and fold along the fold line so that you could see the sewing line, and then pin in place. You want to repeat this process to a lining fabric, and here you can see my lining fabric is red. And when you're looking at the two front shirt pieces, you'll see a right and a left side. I like to start at the bust on the left piece. It's just easier for me because then all the extra fabric is to my left, so that I can work easier without it bunching up under the sewing machine. Once you have that side done, you want to switch over to the right side and start from the bottom and work your way up. And when you get to the bust, you want to use your left hand to control the fabric and your right hand to fold the fabric so that it's nice and flat. Once you have all your pieces sewn, the shirt fabric and the lining fabrics, then you want to iron your darts nice and flat. Don't be afraid to go over it a couple times so that there's no bumps. And make sure you do this to all four pieces. Once you have all four pieces done, it will look like this. You'll have a lining for each side and a shirt fabric for each side. Now we're going to connect the shirt pieces to the lining pieces. So you want to take the two that match each other, and you want to make sure the good sides are facing each other and that the sides with the excess fabric are on the outsides. Then you want to pin along the neckline and then sew it down. Once your pieces are sewn together, it'll look like this, and then you want to flip it over completely so that now the sides with the extra fabric is facing each other and your good sides are now on the outside. And then you want to iron your seam flat so that it's nice and well done. So now your front pieces are completed, and now we'll work on the back piece. We'll repeat the same process as we did with the front pieces, but what you want to do with the back piece is make sure you fold your fabric over, and you want to make sure the do not fold line is lined up on the fold of your fabric. If you don't do that, you'll get two pieces instead of one for your back. So you can see here, once we remove the pins out from here, you'll get one big continuous piece for the back. And make sure you also cut out a lining fabric to match up with your back piece. Same thing with the front pieces. We are going to copy over our darts with tracing paper and a tracing wheel. Once our darts are copied over, we will fold along the fold lines and pin in place. And I like to do both of them at once so that I can get them both sewn at the same time. Here we're sewing down the dart. Just follow along the sewing line. You can see that the folding line is visible. And here at the top, you just want to go right off the fabric. Make sure you iron the darts nice and flat. I like to fold the extra fabric away from the center and out towards the sides. Once both pieces are ironed, they are now ready to be put together. Remember to make sure the good side is facing the good side, and we're going to connect right at the neckline only, not the shoulders and not the armholes. Start on one end. When you get down to the corner, insert the needle, pick up your foot, pivot the fabric, and then put the foot back down and then sew, and do this to both corners all the way to the other side. Now you have the two pieces sewn together. The trick here is to clip right at the corners. You don't want to cut the thread, but you want to get close. And that is so that you can actually flip your shirt pieces over. If you don't clip there, you won't be able to have that extra space you need to be able to flip the fabric over. Once you flip the fabric over, then iron your seam here nice and flat, and you'll get a nice clean neckline in the back. And this piece is completed. Here's a bonus section, how to make your own Hmoob Txaij. And this is the piece that goes around the neckline in the front and the back. Some people sell it, but usually people make their own. So if you need to make your own, for example, if you choose a fabric that's unique and you need to make your own, this is how you do it. You take some ntiag or 100% nylon fabric, and you want to start with a pink piece that's just traditional color, and the pink piece is 2 inches wide, and the length, if you are a smaller size, you can probably do maybe a yard and a half. For those who are larger sizes, you'll need a longer piece of ntiag, so you want to do maybe about 2 yards, 2.5. You also need a white piece, which is also a traditional color, and for that I have 1.5 inch wide. And my sleeve is going to be black and blue, and so the fabric I've chosen here is a floral blue. So I'm going to cut a piece of floral blue, and this piece is going to be 1 inch. So if you guys choose a different color, you'll need the pink and the white, and then for the remaining color, you want to use the fabric that matches your outfit. So here I've got all 3 pieces for my ntiag. I have a 2 inch pink, a 1.5 inch white, and a 1 inch blue. First we're going to sew the pink and the white together. Just line up one side of the edge to the other and sew it down using about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. After you have that done, you're going to flip it open, and this is 100% nylon or ntiag, so I just use my fingernail or the edge of a scissor here to flatten it. You can use an iron, but this type of fabric is prone to burning and melting, so you'll want to use a very low setting. Next, I'm going to use a ruler to mark a 1/4 inch away from the white. So you could see my ruler is up against the white using the 1/4 inch line, and then I'm chalking a line a 1/4 inch away from that on the pink. And that is so that I can line up my blue fabric right on top of that chalk line so that I'll get a nice straight line. And to sew on the blue piece, I'm folding it over and then doing a top stitch and sewing right along the very edge of the blue fabric. So this process is a little bit slower, and the softer your fabric is, the more difficult it'll be. The Xiong is quite a bit easier to work with because it folds nicely. So if you start with a stretchy fabric, you might have a bit of a difficult time here. Once you have one side of the blue sewn down, you have to close up the blue on the other side. So all you have to do is flip under all the extra fabric and try and keep it nice and straight and do another top stitch to sew it down. So I'm trying to keep my blue fabric here to a little bit over a 1/4 inch, but less than a 1/2 inch. You can make it smaller or bigger depending on how wide you would like your ntiag to appear on your outfit. Typically, the Hmoob Txaij outfits have a smaller ntiag. So this is what the completed piece looks like. You could see there's going to be pink on both sides of the blue here, and then white on the other side. With my ntiag piece, I'm going to now sew it down to the front of my shirt and the back of my shirt. I'm going to start with the front right side. This is the side that I want the ntiag to be the longest because it's going to be the side that is visual, that people will see. So I want my ntiag to go down further. So you could see here I've pinned the ntiag in place, folded the pink over, and sewn it right down on the edge of the shirt fabric. Once you have the pink side sewed down, then you want to sew down the white side and repeat the same process. Fold under the white fabric and then do a top stitch right along the edge. Here's my completed front pieces. I'm going to trim off the extra ntiag and I'm going to use that for the back piece. My two front pieces look like this with my completed Hmoob Txaij ntiag. Next, I'm going to use the leftover ntiag pieces to sew down to my back. And here I'm going to fold down the pink and trim off some of it at the bottom because I don't need it to be that long. Then I'm going to take the extra piece of the other side and match it up so that I'd have two pieces that are about the same length, and then pin that down to the other side of the back. I'm going to fold the bottom up and then pin it in place, and then I'm going to fold the white pieces under and also pin that in place. Once I have everything pinned down, I can sew all the way down and around. So here you could see my pins are holding everything in place. I'm using a top stitch to go around the outside on the pink side, and I like to start on the side that's on the neckline so that I can make sure it's nice and tight there and there's no black fabric showing. And then I want to show you guys that I actually stop on the pink and switch my thread over to white so that it's matching the white edge. It's just good quality to switch your thread. It's a little bit more work, but your thread will match the colors that you're using. So here we're using a top stitch to finish up sewing down the ntiag to the back piece. This is my completed back piece with the ntiag sewn on. Please watch part 2 on how to finish up. Thank you.